So Manchester United have got their second pre-season friendly game on Friday against Borussia Dortmund, and I've got Max here from Forever Dortmund. Nice to meet you, Max.
Nice to meet you too.
Obviously, Man United started off quite well with a comfortable 2-0 win over Wigan. Goals from Will Keane and a cracking goal from Andreas Pereira sets us up. But this is the beginning of our pre-season tour. We're going to China. I'm not sure how you're feeling about going to China, but it's a long way to go for a friendly.
Yeah.
Is that the same feeling with Dortmund?
Yeah, exact same feeling. Sort of a pain in the ass, to be honest, because I mean, you want to keep the players fresh for the beginning of the season, and when you have to go all the way to China and back, just for a friendly.
How many games are you playing out in China?
2, I think. Man City and Man United.
Man United, same as us, and we play City 3 days later. But obviously, in terms of the links between Man United and Dortmund, it didn't start with Shinji Kagawa, but the Shinji Kagawa move didn't really work out for Shinji, which is a shame because he was a great player at Bundesliga. And now we've signed Henrik Mkhitaryan this summer. And it's Borussia Dortmund, you do have a track record of selling your players and bringing in new ones, but to sell Gundogan, Hummels and Mkhitaryan in the same summer, what's happening at Borussia Dortmund?
Well, I mean, it's really tough because I think it caught us all by surprise. I think we were expecting everyone to stay after such a good season. We qualify for the Champions League the next season. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, we hear Mats Hummels is going to Bayern. And then Gundogan, we all kind of expected him to leave because he's been injured all the time. He hasn't really been playing much, and he's wanted to leave for the past 2 years. So that one we kind of expected that. But then we thought after losing, 2 key players like that we would really not sell anyone else. We kind of heard people were interested in Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
But we never thought it would happen because we just wouldn't let it happen. After losing 2 key players, you can't really lose a third. But then, of course, you hear how Mkhitaryan really forced through that move, and then
what's the feeling among the fans now towards Mkhitaryan?
I would say quite bitter, because to be honest, it's one thing when a player leaves, but to leave at a time when Mkhitaryan left and in the manner in which he left is something else.
Because he had 2 quite tough seasons at the start, and then his third one was where he really came out.
So you'd sort of expect him to repay us by staying for at least an extra season, help us with our season back in the Champions League, because, I mean, like I said, we lost 2 key players before, but I mean, he just, he really, I think what really bothered most of us was how he forced the transfer. Obviously, his agent is kind of a snake.
Well, we all know who his agent is. Mino Raiola, obviously Zlatan Ibrahimovic's agent, and Paul Pogba's, which are 2 players. We've already got one of them. We might get the other one. And in terms of pre-season games, are always about fitness, getting new players settled in their new clubs. How have your pre-season preparations been going so far? You've played a few games, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, our pre-season's gone really good so far, in my opinion. We actually, unfortunately, we lost just the other day against Munich, the second division, Munich. But I think you have to, obviously in pre-season games, you don't really look at the result, you look at the performance. And our replacements look really, really good.
So who have you brought in this summer?
Well, so far we've brought in 6 players. Most notably for Mkhitaryan's replacement, we have Ousmane Dembele. And he's only 19 years old, and he's looked absolutely fantastic. He sort of is very similar to Mkhitaryan in that he really has this pace and this desire to really go at players and try to take them on one-on-one, and then try to just create chances on his own. And I was really worried that we were going to miss that aspect of our game, because Mkhitaryan was really the only person who would really just take the ball from halfway and then just dribble past 3-4 players and then have a shot on goal.
We saw that in our first pre-season game against Wigan. That's something that Man United missed so much. And last season, Anthony Martial started doing that a lot more. And it's the sort of player that gets you excited to the edge of your seat. And you can see that Mkhitaryan's going to be that sort of player as well. But up front, you've obviously, I wouldn't say Dembele's a striker, but you're going to have so much pace in that attack.
Obviously,
it should be quite dangerous.
We're going to have Marco Reus, Aubameyang, and then Dembele, and then we're supposed to sign Andre Schürrle and Mario Götze in the next few days. So we're compensating pretty well.
Yeah, that's a good thing. As long as it's like when you sell a good player, you have to reinvest that money and bring it in. It sounds like you're doing quite well. What do you expect to see from Mkhitaryan against Dortmund? Do you expect the fans to boo him? Do you think he'll be overawed by the occasion and he won't play very well?
Well, I mean, I don't think he'll get booed just because we're in China.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it's the fans, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
If it was in Dortmund, yes, he would get very much booed. But I think he'll be very eager to perform against Dortmund. I think he's going to have a good game, and it will be interesting to see how much damage he does. But I mean, I think he'll play well.
What's your prediction for the game then? Do you think the Dortmund are going to win?
I'm going to say 2-2.
2-2, so goals.
Yeah.
From watching that Wigan game, Manchester United, obviously this is only our second game back. They weren't at the rate, they weren't a complete team at the start. You saw it was a little bit jaggedy at the start, but it sounds like you having those extra 2 or 3 games on us would probably give you an advantage. But everyone's flying to China. It's a friendly game. I don't think there'll be a clean sheet, so I do think there'll be goals. So I'm going to go for a score draw as well. I'm going to go for 1-1. But as you said, it's just all about the performances. For Man United fans right now, it's a very exciting time. We've got Jose Mourinho. We've got Ibrahimovic coming in. Eric Bailly looked very good, our new defender from Villarreal. Mkhitaryan looked excellent. Potentially might get Paul Pogba as well. So I'm really looking forward to the game. I would rather not go to China, but this is what pre-season tours do. Then we have got Man City 3 days later. So Mourinho's going to have to tinker and change his team. So maybe Mkhitaryan won't even start. I imagine he probably will though.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction for the game? Leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much for having a chat. Lovely to chat to you, Max, and thanks for Mkhitaryan. Drop a like on the video as always, and subscribe to United People's TV. And hopefully we'll chat to you after a nice 1-1 draw. That's what I said. 1-1 draw against Dortmund. Take it easy.